I moved into Cabrini in the early '60s. I went to the world famous Cooley Vocational High School, where as as an eighth grader, I was the president of the student congress. We led the charge to get a new school built because Cooley was built beside a train track, and we could because of the train. So we held protesters. I was helped lead protesters and what have you, and it ultimately led to the building of a brand new high school. Life in Cabrini was a challenge because we had how do I want to say this? We had the poor folks and three, 4 blocks away. We had the rich folks, and it seemed like those two sides was steady at war because one side didn't want the other side. They didn't want the guys from the projects really venturing into that area unless they was working. But I was all over. I was all over the north. I mean, I was a diehard North Sider. I delivered newspapers on the Gold Coast for many years. We ran our business from that. Most of our work came from on the other side of the tracks, as we refer to it. Cabrini was a war zone, and the only thing that really at that time kept the tension down was softball. Everybody was competitive, and we had a thing that we referred to as socialization through recreation, and we developed softball leagues. And what we had to do was, what we done was, we made most of the guys that was warring with each other play together. That way, if you get killed, you don't want to kill your teammates if you try to win a game. And you know, we was able. That's why we was able to keep a lot of tensions down. Cabrini was a city of its own. That's why I met former Mayor Jane Byrne in Cabrini. I got a chance to work closely with her and her husband Jay McMillan. I remember one year they was having problems over there with some of the Chicago Housing Authority. Their buildings was decapitated and the plumbing wasn't bad. They had a guy by the name of Charlie Swibel. Charlie Swibel was at that time was the chief fundraiser for a lot of the politicians, but he was also chairman of the Chicago Housing Authority. Well, me and Charlie Swibel got into it once, and he asked the mayor, "Who is this little smart kid?" And she say, "Oh, that ain't nobody but Harris." And Ira Kolick, which was the former state senator, he said, "No, that's our soul brother executive, and he's gonna be okay. He's gonna be our man in a few years." I remember one year they was having problems over there with some of the Chicago Housing Authority. Their buildings was decapitated and the plumbing wasn't bad. They had a guy by the name of Charlie Swibel. Charlie Swibel was at that time was the chief fundraiser for a lot of the politicians, but he was also chairman of the Chicago Housing Authority. Well, me and Charlie Swibel got into it once, and he asked the mayor, "Who is this little smart kid?" And she say, "Oh, that ain't nobody but Harris." And Ira Kolick, which was the former state senator, he said, "No, that's our soul brother executive, and he's gonna be okay. He's going to be our man in a few years. I can go, Cabrini, I can go on for days and days and days of some of the things that was going on over there. Even from when the mayor moved in, and she looked at me and said, "Lee, you don't think I'm really going to live here, do you?" Yeah, I'm going to be here, but do you actually think I'm going to live here? She only lived. She had a Gold Coast high rise about 4 blocks away, overlooking Cabrini, and she'll come in maybe once or twice a week and stay for a few hours. But under the cover of darkness, she got out of it. You know, so it was interesting. In '85, our alderman was Bert Materis, and they had every intention, I believe, from what I understand, that I was going to run for that. I was going to run for that spot. I was going to run for alderman in that area, but they didn't know how to help me get the Marina City, that area vote. But we figured that it was enough votes in Cabrini Green to get me over. Just Cabrini Green was enough to win, and it was no way that if that would have happened, we would have lost. But all that changed. So because other problems, this discord, and people died off, ambition changes, drugs, everything.